Shalom, shalom, dear friends. It's Martin here, and it's March 2024, so time to make a video. I attempted this a couple of days ago, and it all went wrong. Yeah, it didn't work. You don't really need to know that, but yeah, and I waffled on for half an hour. If this goes on for half an hour, my sincerest apologies. I suppose quite a lot to talk about and explain, but I've sort of gone back to being once a month video guy. Yeah, so last week, let's start with the Vinyl Community UK Meetup, which was last weekend up in Leeds, up in Yorkshire, and it was a good turnout. I suppose there was probably about a dozen of us. The one really good thing was three people came. That one guy doesn't make videos anymore, but he still felt comfortable enough to come along and join us. It was great to see him. That was Chris from Newcastle. He brought a mate, and another guy came as well, called I think Flipped Disc, Mark, and he came from near Manchester, and yeah, they felt it was great just that people turned up like that, really, no serial killers or anything. Yeah, so there was me. I think I came the furthest. I had a horrible journey up there on the Friday night up the M1, and yeah, I turned up at a record fair. So it's in this huge market in Leeds, possibly Europe's biggest market. Others will be showing footage, I'm sure, of it. In fact, I think Ian has already shown footage of it. So Ian was there. So that's RTO, Ranking the Obscure. There was Nick's Vinyl Butty. There was Mike Vinyl Spiral. There was Rob Walker. There was Headley, another fat bearded man, talks about records. If I get all these, I'll be amazed. There was John, 6-inch pianist. There was Sean Whelan. I can't remember the name of his channel. There was Steve Whitty. Who else was there? Yeah, it's gone. Anyway, apologies if I've completely forgotten that you were there, but yeah, that's not a bad effort, is it? Anyway, so we all mulled around the record fair and we were talking and whatnot in bits and bobs, and people were going and coming and refueling and whatnot. And then we went to a pub. I would say was a bit of a sticky pub, not Spit and Sawdust. I had a pork pie there. That was quite nice. I previous night had a pie. Yeah, pie was the theme for the weekend on the food front, and talked mainly music, I would say, but some other bits and bobs, and went to a couple of shops. I don't remember the names of them now, sorry, but when previous time we went to Leeds, which was probably the first or second vinyl meetup, we went to the same shops, because I remember the downstairs of one being very cramped, and I sort of was just standing in the same place, really thinking I can't see much from here. I can see some books and look at them, but yeah, didn't buy anything in the shops. Just anyway, and then the one we didn't go in was called Jumbo Records, which primarily was because it had some sort of ticketed event. So that was called Jumbo Records, of which Mike Vinyl Spiral, who lives in Leeds, very kindly gave me some VCLT. And I will show you what he gave me. So we've got some 7-inch singles. Voice of a Beehive, I Say Nothing. So that is from their first album, I think. Yeah, it is. It's called Let It Be with 2 E's. That was one single. T-Rex, Metal Guru. And ABC, All of My Heart, which is from Lexicon of Love. I think the first album by them anyway. And he also gave me, very kindly, because he knows I like sort of a Johnny Trunk hipster sort of stuff. So this is Basil Kirchin, and it's 2 soundtrack films no one's ever heard of. Well, maybe some people have. A Strange Affair is one, and Assignment K. Yeah. So this guy, he did lots of soundtracks and stuff, and was quite prolific, I would say, actually. Yeah. So that was that. That was what Mike gave me. And it was good just to meet up, because I did actually look it up. The last one we had was in Bristol, and it was 2020, so it must just have been before a UK lockdown, or well, it was. I know it was, because obviously we wouldn't have met up otherwise. Yeah, so it must have been sort of like March or something. So the other things that I picked up at the record fair were, which I guess you probably all want to see. I got 3 7-inches. Let's do the 7 inches first. Yeah, I mean, there was the usual sort of mixture of stalls. You know, some cheaper, some more expensive, very planned out kind of thing. There was quite a lot of 7 inches actually. I was quite surprised. So I got these 3 were a £5 from a sort of a designated more 7-inch seller. Menswear Daydreamer in the sort of custom plastic bag, which I think I used to have this, and I have not played it yet. I've not heard this for so long. I got Madonna with Jelly Bean Sidewalk Talk, backed with Was Dog a Donut. It's even actually got his Yusuf Islam name on there as well, which is quite interesting. This is from '84, so it obviously he was obviously called that by then. And this is a John Spencer Blues Explosion single, jukebox kind of single. It's not on an album. I checked when I was got out the old Discogs, looked like a right tourist. Get With It on one side, Explosion and Feathers. I don't know who the Feathers is. Is there someone called Charlie Feathers? I'm not sure. And Down Low on the other side, very short, 1.5, 2 minute tracks. That wasn't the first thing I bought. The first thing I bought was someone that had these predictable sort of dead stock, maybe from HMV or just records that you buy at a. You can go to these auctions, and loads of sellers do that and pick them all up. So I got 2 of the same record because it was £3. So it's I listened to it on YouTube. Sounded interesting. It is Folded Landscapes by Erland Cooper and Scottish Ensemble or Ensemble. 7 movements of various length. It's in that sort of ballpark of classical, ambient. I don't really want to use the word neoclassical. Yeah, it's on compostable label, or it's on recycled vinyl, heavyweight, 180 grams. And I thought that sounded interesting enough. It was £3 a pop. I probably could have picked up other things, but I sort of moved on and was progressing around the fair as you do, you know. I got this for £1. There's Pat Boone on the back. It's a religious sort of record. Yep. It's on Word. It's 1976. That was £1, and this was £1 because friend I stayed with in Wakefield. This is recorded at a Wakefield. I had a haggle over this record. It's just such a funny cover. I had to get it. It was £2, and I couldn't haggle him down to £1, and I cracked. I just thought whatever. So it's a very. I'm sorry to say, this record is actually incredibly boring. It's like sort of your lounge light jazz singer in a club. It doesn't say anything in between the tracks at all. It's quite dull. It's got name dropping on the back. This is written by Bob Monkhouse, the sleeve notes, and then he name drops several outstanding successful guest spots on the Des O'Connor TV series. Yeah. Just so sort of I mean, there's an Al Jolson medley on there. I mean, is that really necessary? Anyway, okay, another place I went to at the record fair, I had a good probably half an hour, 40 minutes going through finding 15 7-inches. Do I want to show them all? I suppose I should, really, shouldn't I? I gave one to Ian because it was from his locale of Northamptonshire. River Deep Mountain High. Yeah. Mellow Yellow, backed with Sunshine Superman Donovan. Rob Walker suggested I get Giorgio Moroder From Here to Eternity and Too Hot to Handle. Tammy Lynn, I'm Gonna Run Away From You. Now, this has Peter Durrant's name on it, whoever he might be, but I was rather surprised to see he also owned an Arsenal single, which, living in Leeds, particularly when this came out, Leeds and Arsenal were huge rivals in the 70s. When Leeds, let's be honest, Leeds golden heyday, Don Revie sort of era. This is from 71. So this is in fact, this would have been the Arsenal double winning team, I think, yeah. Although maybe a bit later, because I think that's Alan Ball there. Maybe it was re-released, every season. Bob Wilson, I can see there. Frank McClintock. Charlie George, I can see there. Yeah. Anyway, I used to know them all off by heart, but not so sure now. The Tornadoes, Theme from the Scales of Justice, and the Ice Cream Van. I don't know what some of these are. This is the Dave Howard Singers. All My Relatives Look the Same. This I played. It's Tom Robinson. It wasn't quite as exciting as the Sector 27 sleeve and name sounded. Yeah, not ready, not exciting at all. Bit of a mess, really, to be honest, I thought. But, some dance mixes of Twin Peaks. You've got the Log Lady mix, short version, and the Ronette Pulaski mix. I've got Madonna here for Supernatural B-side, different B-side. Just to remind myself what it was like. Techno Chronic. This, I did have the album of this and wasn't keen on it, but Your History is an excellent single, I think. This is Police Officer, Smiley Culture. And lastly, or the last one in the pile, is Lieutenant Pigeon, Desperate Dan. And the B-side is really weird. It's called Opus 300. So, how are we doing? 13 minutes. This is going to be a long one, isn't it? I hope you're in for the long ride. Now, after that, was it after that? Well, anyway, whenever it was, I went to my usual £1 sort of dump place, and I found a Bros album, which I thought would be interesting to hear after all these years. That is 1990, is it? I'm not sure. Yeah. And Get Back in Shape. After you're pregnant, going back to your pre-pregnancy shape. Some inappropriate tracks here for that as well. Can't Smile Without You, Seven Tears, Copacabana, Why Do Fools Fall in Love? Yeah, 1982 this is apparently. Look at that picture there, terrible. Look at that. Slightly scratched Vogue promo, I think, is it? Should be okay. Tulip Prokofiev. Getting my Prokofievs muddled up, but I thought I'd grab that one, give it a go. This one I hear on the old classical radio quite a bit now. The Lark Descending. The Lark Ascending. Yeah. Got a copy of that. all £1. Give yourself a stereo checkout. Now this looked interesting. This is a rather interesting cover, and then on the inside it had some oil rigs. Unfortunately, it's not oil rig noises, which I would have been far more interested. It's for Sikkens, Sikkens, and it's water solvent based coatings. And what do you do? What do you put on a record? What do you put on a record for oil rigs? That's right, Vivaldi Four Seasons. Yeah. Slightly warped. I Don't Want to Love. I used to have this. I think that's probably still my favourite Texas song, to be honest. The frustratingly annoying Wiggle It, Two in a Room.